just finished what is now my new favorite dark romance series I have ever read. That series is The Edge of Darkness by Leigh Rivers. It starts with Insatiable, then Voracious, and then Restitution. Before I go into a lot of detail about the story, let me just tell you that this is one of the darkest series I have ever read. I'm going to list a bunch of the trigger warnings here, and when I say that these triggers are like graphic, like I have never read such graphic violence and torture scenes as I did in this book. Like it is dark, so if you are not somebody who is comfortable with really dark themes, this is not going to be the series for you. This series follows the same couple all the way through, and that couple is Cade and Stacy. Cade and Stacy met when they were 15, and they started dating secretly when they were 18 because Stacy is Cade's sister, Luciella's best friend. They fall madly in love. They are each other's first kiss, first time, first love. And then a year into the relationship, something disastrous happens that when you begin the book, you don't really know what that was, and that causes them to separate. And after they break up, both of their lives really spiral into some of the darkest, most depraved things, and it is just such a heartbreaking, beautiful story of love and like revenge and just getting back to who you were. This is back and forth timeline, so you get a lot of flashbacks to them as children, and then you are in the present day, which is 2 years after they broke up. And now Cade is basically trapped in the Scotland underworld. He is this insanely talented assassin. He works basically as a prostitute. He's forced into the most depraved things you could ever think of. Like, I have never read something as dark as the way this book goes into the way of the Scottish underworld. And then Stacy is a professional dancer. She does dance, she does aerial, she does pole, and she has a stepbrother that no one in her life knows about because he is obsessed with her to the point where he thinks he is in love with her and he wants her to love him. And the abuse and the trauma that she goes through with him is unlike anything I have ever read. Like, I even think what he does to her is worse than what happens in even the Boys of Tommen series. I don't want to talk any more about the plot because it is one of those stories where you go in and you really don't know what's going on, and you slowly see bits and pieces of the past and present and how they tie together, and you kind of unravel the full story of what happened in the past. The just vibe of this book was immaculate. The romance, the underground like mafia, think like Zayd Meadows trying to like take down the organization, where like he's stuck where he is, but he's also doing everything he can to right the wrongs. Cade Mitchell has become one of my favorite book characters I have ever read about, and not just in the sense of like romance, but in the sense of he's just such a character full of depth, and he has so many parts to him. Like, he is so caring and emotional, but he has just been forced into the worst possible thing like any person can ever go through, and just seeing him come out on the other side and see the mental health journey he goes through is just so well written. And like seeing them from kids to where they are now, like at the beginning he was this like anxiety riddled child, and then he was forced and groomed into the situation he is now, and then having to watch him overcome it. Like, it was one of the most beautiful stories, and it was the same thing with Stacy going through her trauma and them together and their family. Like, everything was just so immaculate. Don't even get me started on the side characters in the found family, because again, another part of the series that just was done to utter perfection. And one part about this book is that Cade's family is very well known because his dad is this insane man who 20 years ago was like obsessed with his mother and kidnapped her, and he was put into an institution. So you have like the father who also is nuts, but in the best way possible, and he's the most brilliant character you've ever read in a book. The friends, the mom, the siblings, like every single character in this book had me so emotionally invested in them and everything they've each gone through. I am beyond excited for the Baze and Luciella duet because I know that is going to be so good, because Sebastian and Luciella are just meant for each other, but they are the definition of just right person, wrong time, and like they cannot be together. It's been about 12 hours since I finished this series, and I have not stopped thinking about it. I've literally just been staring at the wall like thinking about the series because it just really like hooked me. It was so good. It was so addictive. The audiobooks are currently re-releasing right now, and so I really want to reread it once all the audios come out because it is a full cast narration. There is also a prequel called Psychotic Obsession that is about his father and his mother that just came out, and this is going to be the most heartbreaking story because seeing the romance between Arya and Tobias just through their kids' eyes and seeing it in the Edge of Darkness trilogy, like it is the most devastating love story you've ever read, and like the definition of just toxic, like we cannot be together and it will never work, but we just love each other so much, and I cannot wait to read it. I know it is going to break my heart, anyone who's into dark romance, like, please, please check this series out because it is so good.